Hall joins us for the OKPreps Round Up, powered by Excel Therapy. It's our special 6A Division II preview show. Coach, I know we were supposed to talk yesterday, so I appreciate you switching the schedules a little bit and talking a little Bomber football with us on this special Sunday edition of the program.
Oh, no problem, Michael. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. And look, let's start the conversation where a lot of people want to start the conversation. Midwest City in the playoffs. You know, with the split in 6A, a lot of people expected the Bombers to, really contend for state championships year in and year out. It's a much more manageable schedule. You don't have to deal with the powerhouses, Jinx and Union anymore, as well as some of the other programs in the larger 6A Division I. But each of the last 2 years, Midwest City has fallen short in the first round. What was the biggest key and what was the biggest takeaway for this team from the last 2 years in falling in the first round?
Well, we can't self-destruct. Can't defeat ourselves. I mean, and that's what we take away from. We've got to take care of business and not be our own worst enemy. And it's nothing major, but it is major. You know, little things turn into big things.
Yeah. And now one of the biggest keys for the Bombers over the last couple of years has been the defense and how stout it's been. Division I prospects all over the field on the defensive side of the ball. Let's start there and work our way back to the offense. Again, you have several guys who are going to be vying for Division I scholarships on the football field. Evan Fields, DeMontre Gatewood, and then a newcomer this year joining the football team, Jalen Redmon, who I know from the basketball court, and I've always thought that dude looks like a linebacker playing basketball. So I'm glad to see him now putting the pads on. Looking forward to seeing what he can do. How special can this defense be compared to some of the previous years?
Oh, I think it can be right there at the top, if not better. I mean, we have guys that can run to the ball. We're really deep in the secondary part of it. We have about 5-6 guys that can play corner or safety or interchangeable, and that makes us really, really viable there. Our D-line has got to continue to improve. We've got, missing a couple of holes in the middle where we lost a Warren Davis All-Stater last year at that 3 technique that was just impossible to block one-on-one. And, missed a couple linebackers. But, I expect our defense to be stellar, like you said. I mean, we got, like you said, with the addition of Jalen Redmon, he fills a void where we lost a young man that decided not to come out. And we, so it helps us solidify one in and with Evan Fields. And then we have a guy named Tiasis Vick that is kind of flying under the radar. He didn't get much playing time last year, but he will start at the free safety along with Evan on the strong. And he has a couple of D1 offers also.
And let's talk more particularly about Jalen. What have you seen from him? I know that he came out in time for spring ball back in May. Was able to see him a little bบat the Mustang team camp in June. What have you seen from him? Again, he's going to be raw as he heads into it, but as far as athletes go, there's not going to be a more athletic guy than Jalen Redmon when he steps onto the field. Just the combination of size and speed and pure acceleration is what's so impressive about him. What stood out to you in regards to Redmon so far?
Well, you hit all the nails on the head there with his size. I mean, he's going to create matchup problems, and with his speed and strength, I don't think a guy that can actually match up is going to be able to match his speed. Well, if he matches up strength-wise, he's not going to be able to strength-wise. Speed-wise, he's not going to be able to match his strength.
Yeah,
and he's going to create a lot of problems off the edge. And even when he's wrong, he's right. You have those guys that, and the learning curve is just so high for him. Like we talked about in the scrimmage Friday night. Stay your path a couple times. Learn. Instead of using both hands to force through, rip through the guy's upfield shoulder and continue on. It's not going to slow you down. And man, I think it's just going to. I think the future's so bright for him and the Bombers with a young man like that. And it goes back to what we talk about here in Midwest City is don't put all your eggs in one basket. We love for multi-sport athletes. We love for guys to participate in it all. I mean, that's what high school was all about, and not specialized because, you and I both know if you're fortunate enough to go to the next level, you're probably going to have to specialize in, but not in high school.
Yeah.
In high school, you ought to be able to play them all and make every sport that you're a part of better.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see him play football this year. Just simply from what I saw on the basketball court the last season, like I mentioned, he looked like a linebacker playing basketball with his frame, and we're going to be able to watch it on Friday nights this fall. Let's switch gears
Oh
and
yeah,
talk about the offensive side of the ball. You got a new quarterback coming in, a sophomore. You're going to start at QB. I saw him at the 7-on-7 tournament at Bishop McGinnis. He can move around a little bit. He can also throw the ball. What have you liked from your new quarterback?
his demeanor. He's calm in the face of a storm. The kids follow his leadership, and he's that guy that's got to lead them because he's going to be out in the field. But he throws a great ball. I mean, it's like the other day in the scrimmage Friday night. We end up losing to Sophomore 6-0, 7-0, if you want to say it, like in the scrimmage part or in the game phase of it. But I mean, we dropped 3 crucial first downs that hit us in the hands. I mean, the ball is where it should be. We've got to do a better job of catching it. And so he's able to scramble out of the pocket and keep his eyes up downfield. So he's going to make defense have to keep an eye on him. And he throws a very, very good ball. So I'm excited about what he's going to do for the Bomber offense. And, I'd say right now he seems to be the best I've had since I've been here heading into my 5th season at Midwest City.
And now let's talk about the schedule, especially the non-district slate. It's going to be a competitive first couple of weeks as you got Booker T. Washington yet again on the schedule. You also have a Muskogee team that's in 6A Division II trying to make it to the playoffs. Talk about your scheduling philosophy, scheduling some of these top teams in your own class to go to battle with as you try to get ready for a very competitive district play in 6A D2.
Well, we want to win them all, but these first 3 are kind of jockeying position to see where you stand, and we're going to see all the guys in our class on our side of the state. So it's to our advantage to play as many of those guys in the East as we can. So when we see them in the playoffs, we have an idea of what's going on. And you speak of Muskogee, we play them this Friday coming up. I mean, it's ball time, and they were ahead of Bixby last year in the first half and ended up losing. They were playing for the 4th place game week 10 last year. So they were that close to being there. And what we've seen on film is that they've got good size and good speed and athleticism. They weren't able to sustain throughout the games. They would be in it early and kind of fade toward the end. So, nobody lightly. And then, of course, Booker T, they're always going to have great athletes and they're going to have great coaches. And they've got so much tradition, and man, it's time to get that monkey off my back. I'm 0-2 against them since I started playing them. So, and I've got a lot of great friends, a lot of great people I met up there in my years up there. I'd sure like to be able to look them a little better in the eye on this deal and get that. And so you match up with 2 great teams like that, and we expect to see them in the playoffs. And then, of course, you got the rivalry game with Dell City, and that's one of those things that new coach out there, Jay Corbin. He's doing a great job. Their numbers are up high, like in the 90s, is what I've heard. And it's a rivalry game. And you know how rivalry games are. These are guys we see every day. And we don't want to be at the car wash with them with the upper hand.
All right, Coach, we'll get you out of here on this. Again, you kind of alluded to it earlier in the conversation about not self-destructing. So if Midwest City goes on to win the state championship this year, what's going to be the biggest key to winning the gold ball this fall?
The key is playing smart football. We got to be able to sustain drives. Offensive line's coming around. I mean, you talk about the losses. I mean, the Sand Springs loss 2 years ago still sticks in my craw. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just some unbelievable things that happen in a game that I've never seen happen in my life in coaching. I can't control and I can't lose my mind on. And then, we lose Bartlesville, and we're right back in the game. We have a young man that just he got selfish. He blows the coverage right before halftime. The guy throws a 66-yard pass. We're right back in the game. And you ask the young man, he's coming up the field like, "Didn't you hear the coverage?" "Yeah, Coach, I just want to make a play." Well, make a play doing your job. So we've got to get out of the heroism and play solid team ball and be there. I mean, we have been as good as anybody, but we can't hurt ourselves. And I was talking to my staff the other day. I was like, about the losses I've had at Midwest City, it's always this. We got Lawton down. The young lady kicks a field goal, 42-yard field goal to beat us, and one of our kids get up and stand on his face mask. Well, we've got to cut that stuff out. We've got to play ball with our pads and just go hard.
Coach, I appreciate your time this morning. Thanks again for joining us on this special Sunday edition of the program. Good luck as you open up the season later on this week against Muskogee, and good luck this season as the Bombers try to go after that gold ball.
Thank you, Michael, and we hope to be talking to you in December. That's where the Bombers expect to be. Go Bombers.
There you go. That's Midwest City head coach Darrell Hall joining us here on the OKPreps Round Up, powered by Excel Therapy. Unfortunately, we're not able to talk